Let's just jump into it, shall we?
Yeah.
All right, so what's up, everybody? Thanks for clicking this video. Thanks for tuning into this live stream if you're listening on X. Shout out to you if you're listening to this on Spotify, on Cinema Crossroads. And also shout out to you if you're listening to this on my YouTube channel, Simon Hill Keeps It Trill. My name is Simon, Black American from Louisiana, here with my beautiful wife from Turkey. Her name is AKDI. Say hi, boo.
Hey, everyone.
All right, all right. And today is episode 32 of our film and series and documentary review series that we're doing on X. And today we're doing the 2023 science fiction action film, The Creator, starring John David Washington and directed by Gareth Edwards. We also have a special guest in the building with us. His name is Madvillainy. He just jumped into the comments. He says, I hear you, but his mic's not working. That's really sad. Try to fix your mic, man, because I want to hear what you have to say about this. And let everybody know that anybody who wants to join in on these film discussions, it's open. We're open for the people. Just come in, join in, ask to be a speaker, give your comments on the film. We can debate about it, say how much we love a film, hate a film, whatever. Like, this is for the people. So we just finished watching this film, and I really enjoyed it. But Acti, how did you feel about it?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it too. I mean, this was the second time that we watched. And yeah, it's definitely, I would say, worth watching 2 times because I understood different things this time around. So yeah, it's definitely like a innovative themes, I guess, like sort of future focused with AI and stuff. So yeah, I thought it was great.
Yeah, this film really made me think. Also, the action sequences were just fantastic, especially the last battle scene with the tanks and the AI and the suicide robots. It was absolutely fantastic, like front to back. There are some parts that I do have complaints with, but I think generally my complaints are because like the story is so big. So like certain parts of the story, they had to make it shorter. Like how, Joshua's friend could easily look at the robot and say, this is the most fancy robot I've ever seen. She will one day control all of technology. I was like, okay, that's a bit much. How did he know that quickly? You get what I'm saying? But
yeah, there are some loopholes.
Yeah. There's some loopholes in the story, plot holes, stuff like that. But it is generally a great movie, and I think it's interesting because it deals with AI. All right. So Madvillainy says he's going to switch devices. Hopefully, you can jump in with a device that works next time. But yeah, let's talk about this story. So basically, this movie is about in the future, AI is created, and it's almost human level intelligence. In fact, it's like so human that they even have a religion. Like they worship a future, savior named Nimrata, who is the creator of all AI, and who will one day send an AI messiah that will liberate, AI from human slavery and stuff like that. And in the future, humans and machines were working hand in hand until there was a nuclear explosion in Los Angeles that killed a bunch of people. And basically, America decided to wage war on AI. So they banned AI in the West. But the countries that still use AI are in this new future country called New Asia, which I guess is all of the Asian countries put together. And so at the beginning of the movie, there's this guy played by John David Washington. His name is Joshua, and he's laying in bed with his, wife who is pregnant, and she's, they're in love and stuff like that. But then their house gets raided by, these special ops forces that come out from the sea, and then, they raid his house. Joshua says to his wife, "Go upstairs and pack, and we're about to get out of here." And he pretends to kill the special ops guy who wants to. He pretends to kill the guy who is the special ops guy who came there to arrest him. But then he says to him, "Drew, why are you blowing my cover, man? I'm about to get to Nimrata. I'm about to find her. I'm about to find the AI mother." And his wife hears it, and then John, is separated from his wife. She runs out to the sea. The boat she's on explodes, and then John is, back in the States, and he's working to clean up the mess that the nuclear bomb in LA caused. So, what did you think about the beginning of this movie, acting?
I just think like the world that they created is so relatable to our world right now because there is that tension between West and Asia, like specifically United States and like maybe China and other countries in Asia and stuff like that. So there's that tension. So that created like very, realistic world in the future. Like I felt like this could actually happen and, there could be a war because in the beginning, like I don't really, yes, we understand that this is like a war against AI, but I'm also like questioning, okay, are they also like fighting Asia too? But I guess in a sense they are. But yeah, it's just like very interesting. And also like once you see the AI people, they have like these machine things on the back of their necks, but they're like their faces are like uniquely human, and they are copied off of actual human beings, and that's the reason. So like the whole scenario, the whole setup is very realistic, and that's why I like it so much. What do you think?
I was thinking the same thing you were thinking about the East and West tension of this movie because it's similar, like you said, to our world now. And like the movie for me as an American, it reminded me of like the war that we did in Vietnam because this movie, a lot of it takes place in Asia, and there are these scenes of these like American, fighter jets and helicopters swooping over these, Southeast Asian landscapes, dropping bombs, shooting down, and raising hell across the planet. So it very much reminded me of Vietnam and like the imperial war that America waged in Asian countries like the Philippines, like in Vietnam and Cambodia and stuff like that too. And it also reminded me of like the tension between like how in the developing world, like they're just now using technology to like get advanced and stuff like that. Meanwhile, in the West, countries like America might say, okay, we don't want any more, gasoline cars, right? Because gasoline cars are destroying the planet. But then all the poor Asian countries are like, we need gasoline cars so we can catch up to the West too. And I think in this world, in 2065 or whatever, like the Asian countries are doing the same thing. They want to use AI not because they just really love robots, but it's because they want to develop like the West. And the West is like, oh no, we can't use AI because we accidentally blew up ourselves and stuff like that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I don't know. That is part of it, but also their look on AI is different because they don't really use AI like how the West used maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, it's like part of their culture. Like AI takes care of orphan babies
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. So it's like I feel like even in their world where AI and people live together, there's like sense of community, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, it's real because in this movie, like we see AI, like you said, take care of orphan children. They cry when babies die. They show love. When one of the robots that John is like fixing in Los Angeles like comes alive, it says, "Where's the human child? Where's Amy? Where's Amy?" And one of the other humans gets freaked out because that's so human. And I think what the entire movie is trying to do is make us think differently about AI because so many movies, so many pieces of media make AI seem like this monster that's going to kill us all. But this is just a different way of looking at it. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah, yeah. All
Go
right,
ahead,
Matt
Matt
Dillon,
Villainy, join.
Matt Dillon is here. Shout out to you, man. What's up?
What's up? Chilling, man. Glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Man, glad to have you too. So we're talking about like the beginning of the creator and like the universe that it creates. Like, what did you think when like during the first 15 minutes when they were talking about the AI and humans' relationship to it? Like, what did you think of the whole world?
Yeah. So, like you said, it's a it takes these past AI movies and flips it and saying there's these group of people that want the AI and so it's a war to keep the AI and the government wants to get rid of it and you know the the Skynet that they have the big thing
Yeah,
that was shooting
Nomad.
the missiles.
Yeah, Nomad.
Yeah, Nomad. Yeah, and that's like the Skynet, but the opposite of Skynet.
Mm. I didn't even think about that. That is Skynet, but we're the ones like humans are doing the Skynet. That's crazy. I didn't even think about that. Yo,
Yeah.
so what did we think of John David Washington's acting? Because I like him as an actor generally. Like he's got his father's sort of like deadpanness. He's like little Denzel. You know what I mean? Like very stone cold, little bit of charisma. What do we think of John David?
Yeah. So for me, yeah, I like him as an actor. I mean, even though he's not really that actor that can just disappear into a role. When all the movies I've seen him in, it's like, oh yeah, that's him, that's him. He doesn't like disappear in the roles like I guess kind of like a character actor would, but he's
Mm.
still good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The first time I saw him was in Tenet, and but he was also in Black Klansman, but I didn't like connect it to. And I think maybe I saw Black Klansman after Tenet. But I really like the roles he's picking. Like he's picking like big action roles, like movies that have like some substance. I think he's on a good trajectory in his career. And now that damn, what's his name? Who was the black guy that got chased by that white woman in New York? Damn, what was his name?
Oh, you
I
talking about
forgot
this
his name,
movie?
but I know who you're talking about.
Oh man, the buddy who was Kang the Conqueror. Oh man.
Oh, Jonathan Majors.
Yeah. Now that Jonathan Majors is like out the paint, I really think John David is going to have a bigger career because maybe he's going to pick up some of his roles. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think Jonathan. Well, I saw an article the other day. Like Jonathan Majors, he's coming back. You just
Mm,
got to be careful next time.
yeah. What did you think about his acting? Acting.
I mean, I loved him. The first time I saw him, I didn't watch Tenet, but I saw him in Malcolm and Mary.
I love that
Like
movie
the
too.
Yeah, it's a very cool movie, and that's when I watched him first time. And yeah, I love his acting. He made me cry, and plus the little kid. So yeah,
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
he's a good actor.
Yeah. By the way, the actress, and by the way, Alfie, the little character, the little girl, I didn't even know she was a girl until they started referring to her the first time I saw her. Very genderless. But her name is Madeline Yuna Voiles, and she doesn't have a Wikipedia article, so there's no info that I can find right now about her. I don't even know where she's from, but she did a great job too. Also, I think all the acting in the movie was generally good. It was high quality. High quality.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it now, she was born in San Diego, California,
Mm,
and she's like Thai, Laotian, and Cambodian
mm,
girl.
mm.
But yeah, she's like really good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So moving on in the story. So basically, Joshua is 5 years removed from when his wife and baby were supposedly killed in the attack by the government while he was working undercover to find their mother in Asia. And so the government approaches him and they say, what do you remember? Can you help us find their mother? And he's been having tests done on his mind all the time, and he doesn't remember anything much, or he doesn't have any new information to give. But the government says, like, look, we got Nomad running. We're about to, finally kill the AI in New Asia, but we need your help to find Nirmata still because they have a weapon that can destroy everything that we're doing. And John is at first like, nah, I don't want to do it. But then they show him a video saying that like Maya is alive, like it's true she's alive. So come and help us. And he's like, bet, I'm on it. So he hops on the plane. He goes back to New Asia. They do a whole mission, running into like this base in Asia, and basically they find that this kid is the weapon, this little baby named Alfie, and then Alfie escapes after John gets shot, and Joshua gets shot, and then they're like, trying to find safety after Alfie and John. I mean Joshua. Why do they keep calling him John? Because it's the actor's name. So yeah, what did you think about the action scenes in that part, acting?
Yeah, it was very like all of the action scenes are very good.
Mm-hmm.
Like in those scenes, I guess like one important thing that struck me was that how they made like just AI and other people living together look so humane.
Mm.
Like, you have this like human, child crying because they're like threatened to kill her dog,
Mm-hmm.
and like all the AI is sort of like, just trying to help them or hold them and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty cool. And yeah, like all the action scenes are very like a lot of tension.
Mm-hmm.
But like I'm not particularly an action girl,
Mm-hmm.
but I like followed along with every action scene in this movie because it was just very how do you say that, like compelling.
Yeah, yeah. All the action scenes generally made sense too, and they were very realistic, even though they were using all this futuristic tech. Like everything in this movie is futuristic and realistic at the same time because they have like these super high sitting cars that have like 8 wheels under them. They have these like newfangled helicopters and hovercrafts and stuff like that, and like laser guns. But it feels real. It doesn't feel like you're watching like Star Wars. It feels more like authentic. Like these could be real inventions. But Matt Villainy, what do you think about the action scenes, at least in that part, and generally throughout the movie?
Yeah, I mean, action scenes were good. I think one, I kind of skipping to the end a little bit to where when they had the robots that were time bombs that can run into into the crowd and just blow up themselves. I like that in particular. But yeah, the action scenes are great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that last scene with the suicide robots, those giant tanks, everything, like all the tech in this movie felt so real. Like even the idea that you can upload somebody's mind to like a chip and put it into a robot, like all of that stuff too seemed realistic.
They're like Neuralink, like
Yeah.
what Elon Musk Trump is doing.
Yo, that's crazy. But should that technology exist though? Because like while we're watching this movie, we're sympathetic to the AI, but do we actually want a world with AI like this running around? Because I'm thinking about this too. Like the humans are using AI too. Even when the humans are trying to kill AI, they're using AI, and the AI sort of did, kind of maybe stop, cause the bomb in LA and stuff like that. Is this too much trouble? Should we really ban AI? Like, what does everybody think about that?
For me, I don't think so. 'Cause I guess I'm like a libertarian in that sense, where I think bring on all the technology. I mean, because we already have nuclear bombs anyway, so we might as well keep going.
But that's wild to have nukes and AI.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like for me as well, because I feel like humans like um take on this would matter. Like if we constantly use AI for evil things, I feel like that it will evolve that way. Whereas like what in this movie they were doing, like this, new AI prophet was basically programmed to create peace between mankind and AI.
Mm,
So like it's like it will work how we program them.
mm.
So if you program them into beneficial things, I feel like it wouldn't be harm. But like I'm saying, like in the end, it all again depends on humans, really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In
you bring
general,
up a
go ahead. Go ahead.
well, sorry, you bring up a good point, Aki. So like, say if you had the AI in policing, you'd have to, I know you'd have to make sure that they're not programmed to do like what you call it, racial profiling and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Now
and
we still gonna
sorry.
have racist cops, racist robots running around.
Yeah, but I feel like, in those positions where human life is on the line, I feel like it should be other humans who get to decide on that. Of course, like humans make mistakes too. Of course, we have racist police and stuff like that. But it would be easier for an AI to do what it's programmed to do, kill a person, let's say, rather than, a human trying to kill another human. So I feel like in those positions, AI should not be used. Like it shouldn't be used for war, for policing, and for like violence and all of those things. No?
Yep, 100. I agree.
Okay, okay, cool.
You call a robot racist, and then the robot says, "My programmer was black. I can't be racist."
Wow.
Hey, but speaking of programming, though, there was this line kept coming up in the movie. They kept saying it's just programming at the beginning, right? When Maya catches Josh, being a double agent, he says, "Look, this is just programming. I'm real. You're real. That baby's real." Later in the movie, they keep saying this line. It's programming, right? But isn't it the same thing that happens to us? Like as humans, we're programmed to think a certain way. There was a scene, in the helicopter when Josh is going back to Asia with all the American soldiers, and the woman tells him that my son, I lost two of my sons to this war, and one of them fell in love with the AI, and then he got killed. And no, so now she's like programmed to hate AI, like so many other humans are now because of the conditions that they're in. So like, what does anybody think about that?
Yeah, I think that's a really cool point because humans are programmed with environmental factors and with whatever our parents teach us, our schools teach us, right, and our experiences. So, and I think what made those AI in the movie was that like they were programmed or at least inspired by real people.
Mm,
So it created that sort of connection to humans.
yeah, yeah. I think in general, like I'm for AI, especially if the AI turns out like how the AI acted in this movie, where they're somewhat just like people. They're generally good. Some AI is bad. It's funny. I think there was a scene in the movie where one of the AI robots was like smoking weed or like watching robot porn, and I'm like, okay, this AI is very humanistic. So if robots are like this, that's one thing. And yeah, there is programming on both sides. The AI are programmed, but so are we as humans. Like we're programmed to speak a certain language, programmed to think a certain way, programmed to act a certain way, depending on where we grew up. So it's all programming.
Yeah, it was like some people are programmed to be alcoholics and drug addicts and stuff like that, for sure.
Yeah, man, you ain't have to roast me like that, man.
And I didn't even mean you, but yeah, like
No, no, I got you. I got you. Yeah, most people are, depending on their circumstances, they're programmed a certain way. But moving forward in the story, so Josh and he calls him Little Sim at first. Little Sim and Josh are like on the run together, and also they're taking care of one of the wounded soldiers who got left in the field. And so Josh and the wounded soldier and Little Sim go into this house, and this is when we find out that Little Sim, in the future they'll call her Alfie, has like magic powers or magic robot powers because she can turn off the TV and turn on the TV just by like putting her hands together and closing her eyes. And so the wounded soldier is like, I need help. Josh is like, I got the weapon here. And a man comes into this house and says, oh, this is the chosen one. And don't worry, I'm going to kill the American. But Josh kills him first. And then Little Sim and the wounded American escape after a dog throws out a bomb that one of the robots threw out there. And then meanwhile, they're also being chased by the, CIA woman and like the man, the white guy with the big beard, right, from the American soldiers. They're being chased by two American soldiers. And so one of the things I thought that was interesting in this scene is that the dog throws out the bomb, right? And I thought that symbolized a lot of what this movie is trying to tell us that, we've already had things in our lives as humans that are our best friends or that help us out. The animals around us, dogs, cats, stuff like that. So the AI are similar to that. We shouldn't be afraid of them, just like how we're not afraid of our household dogs and cats. Anybody want to jump on that?
yeah. I just wanted to say like in and around that scene when they were or when Joshua was. I think this. I don't remember if it was this scene or a little later, but he was trying to find out the Sim's name, right?
Yeah.
And the Sim said candy, and he was like, "Hell no," because I didn't catch it the first time I watched it, but when I watched it yesterday, he didn't want to call the Sim a stripper name, so so yeah, I thought that was funny. But yeah, like you said, the dog's a man's best friend, and AI could do the same, but it's all about how you program them.
Yeah. And there's another scene when an animal does something too. If you remember at that last battle scene, there's a tank and one of the AI gets killed, but the monkey picks up like the detonation switch for the bomb on the tank and blows it up too. And that's what I think like the director or the writer was trying to get at. Like, humans, we can have helpers in this, life that we live. And while on one hand you have animals that can attack you and hurt you like a pit bull or a gorilla, you also have like your, cute monkeys that can like be like Bubbles, Michael Jackson's friend, or like your pet dog too. So I thought that was something interesting. Acting, anything on that?
Yeah, I mean that candy scene was hilarious. Now that you said Madvillainy, but yeah, like the use of animals were interesting because maybe it's also a little bit of hint to like nature finding its way. Like sometimes nature destroys us, and sometimes it allows us to create like peace. Like you have earthquakes where people
Mm,
die, but then you have like incredible like nature around you where you can find serenity and peacefulness and
mm.
stuff like that. So maybe there was a little hint to that, or maybe I'm just reading into it too much.
No,
But
that's real because every time like a volcano erupts, like they say the soil around it is so fertile, and that's when you get the most plants and fruit trees growing around a volcano explosion.
yeah, and also like okay, so the AI kid wasn't magical. I think there was science behind that because like it was kind of like how if you plug too many things in the apartment, our like system will shut down, like the electricity will go off. So I think that's what like that AI, the child AI, could do. Like it would fuck with the frequencies of the
Mm,
different electronical devices, and that's how she was able to like control them.
mm. So you're saying that Alfie was a circuit breaker?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, but he can control them like in the most advanced way possible.
I'm just gonna call it magic, man.
Okay, sure.
I'm
Yeah,
never gonna go ahead, Matt Finley.
I don't know. I think honestly, I think Aki's on to something too, because I'm reminded of Tesla. He was. I want to say he actually invented like Wi-Fi even before it became Wi-Fi. I might be thinking of it wrong, but the AI could be like a Wi-Fi or a virus or a good sort of virus, something like that. So
Mm.
yeah,
Okay, all right, yeah. I think Nikola Tesla was definitely ahead of his time, and I remember he had like this because we Acty and I went to the Nikola Tesla Museum in Belgrade, and one of his last inventions was like something where electricity could be transmitted through the air, like how Wi-Fi is done. But he never got to finish it, or they said it was never not even possible. But maybe that is the same sort of technology that's powering Alfie. But I just like to say it's magic. Can I just have some magic? It's magic in the
Sure,
movie.
sure. Go ahead, have your magic. But I
yeah,
think also it was interesting that like how Joshua, like for a lot of the movie, he treated this little kid like a machine. Like he would say she, and then he would correct himself and say it, and stuff like that. So I don't think like he really actually believed in the cause of the AI until like the last 30 minutes of the movie or something, which was kind of annoying a little bit.
Mm. That's real because Josh is like not ideological about the war. He really just wants his wife and his child, right? And I think he grows to the idea that AI is actually human through the events that happen to him. So he's going on a hero's journey in this story, which is good to see. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I guess skipping toward the end, to me, I didn't catch it the first time, I don't think, but to me, I think that technically Alfie was his child.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, the creator, or Maya, she uh, did the embryo, and the Alfie is actually growing like a human, but she's an
Mm.
AI.
Yeah, that's crazy technology. So she's like the first biotech AI. So this movie once again creates like real scenarios of real technology that could exist. And moving forward a bit in the story, like so, Josh and Alfie are like running. They start hitchhiking with like some hippies after he begs Alfie to tell her where Nimrata is, and Alfie says she's in Diandeng, right? Something like that.
I mean, I think she's not begging for Nimrata because at this point he doesn't know that Nimrata is Maya, but he's constantly asking for Maya.
He's asking for Maya and also Nimrata, I believe, at that point in the movie. Like he
Hmm.
want because he still is on his mission phase. Like at that point,
Okay.
if I remember right, Matt Villainy, you remember?
No, I'll have to watch it again a third
Okay.
time.
We don't
Okay.
have to.
I guess it doesn't matter that much, but yeah, like I just remember him constantly asking, "Where's Maya?" So
I
yeah.
think I think he was asking for both at that beginning stage when they were in the truck. He was like, tell us where Nimrata is and also Maya. He wants to know both, right?
Okay.
And he says that she's in Diandeng, and he doesn't know where Diandeng is. He thinks it's a city, so he's like begging her to tell him how to get there. But then their car gets broken down, and I think one of the interesting things in that car scene before they hitchhike with the hippies is that Alfie is listening to something on the radio that says death is not the end; it's just a transition, right? And then one of the soldiers, the soldier that they're taking care of, like points his gun at Josh, but then dies and stuff like that. And Alfie witnesses that, but doesn't show any emotion. And my theory is also that Alfie could have killed that soldier too. I'm sticking with it. I don't know. I don't know. Actually, what do you think? I feel like Alfie knew that death was coming around him, so that she just finished the job for him.
No, I don't think like Alfie killed the guy, but Alfie because Alfie saw like Joshua killing an AI, and then Joshua said off. So
Mm,
Alfie was just like, okay, I guess this person went off too. So it kind of shows that Alfie maybe in Alfie's head, like humankind and robots are not that different.
mm.
Maybe I don't know.
No, no, I think that because earlier Josh killed an AI, and Alfie was kind of sad, but then he said, "No, no, he's not dead. He's just off." So then Alfie said, "Okay, I'm gonna turn a human off. How are you gonna feel about that now?" Huh? So that's how I'm looking at it. But
No,
it's just a theory.
but because like when Alfie had the chance to kill humans, after that, like at the end of the movie, he didn't kill any humans because he was created for peace. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't think he could kill a human like that. And
Mm,
also like he wouldn't. I feel like because of how he was programmed, she was programmed.
mm. I think Alfie could kill a human if it really came down to it. She didn't have to, but she could. I think she could, and I think she did. That's my theory. But what do you think, Matt Villainy? Could Alfie kill a human?
I mean, yeah, she could. I don't know if that's what she was created for, but yeah, she could if she learned, like, okay, this one's got to go. So
Mm.
yeah, she could.
Yeah. So they end up hitchhiking with some hippies to like this major city because Josh is like, okay, I'm going to take you to my friend who can read AI and he'll tell me what you know since you don't want to tell me. And meanwhile, the guy dies, but then the two American soldiers find him and they upload his mind into the mind of a AI that they just killed. And they extract some information and they find out where Josh is heading, and also he has the weapon. They make it to this big city, and they finally find Drew, who was the guy at the beginning of the movie that Josh was pretended to kill, but he was actually an American soldier. And now Drew is like living amongst AI. He's got like an AI concubine. He's working in like some AI sweatshop factory. And I was like, this man went native, like fully native. Like he got kicked in the face so hard by the AI. He said, I need to, I need to get some AI coochie. I don't know. And also, I think this point of the movie showed that in the future, people will have sex with robots. And that wasn't talked about in this movie, but I think that was a part of it too. Because how else? Because he was calling the robot babe and all that. Actually, what did you think about that?
Yeah, it was just like first of all, there they do like they go to the past and they like show us the first time they were starting the first mission when
Mm-hmm.
Joshua was supposed to connect with Maya and find her father who
Mm-hmm.
was Nirmata,
Mm-hmm.
or that's what they thought. So and then his friend tells him Joshua that like don't go native on me,
Mm-hmm.
and they laugh about it and stuff like that. And then he's the native one now, which was like sort of funny. But yeah, it was kind of sad that like still in all this like AI glory that like Asia had sweatshops of sex dolls.
Mm.
And I don't know like if they were sex dolls, but yeah. And like this is a bit forward, but when they go into the bus and stuff, the bus is like very worn down
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. So in my head I was thinking like, come on, can we like upgrade some stuff in Asia,
Yeah.
please? But
Nope,
yeah.
but I like that. I like that those small things, like they get on the bus and the seats are tattered. Like the streets of Asia are still very third worldy. Street carts and people pulling rickets and stuff like that. Because that's the world we live in now. We have the internet, we have mobile payments, we have all of these things that can make life better for everybody on the planet. But you've seen it and I've seen it acting. Like the world is still poor and fucked up. But Matt Villainy, what do you think about that scene when they made it to that big city?
Let's see, the big city. Dang, I'm trying to remember. You talking
This
about?
is when they're hitchhiking with the hippies, and then they make it to catch up with this guy Drew, who has a robot girlfriend
Oh
named
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, they got they got sex dolls right now. Like you can get one. You can get one if you can afford them. But yeah, and yeah, I thought that was interesting. He went native. Drew, yeah, I mentioned Drew for a little bit. So Drew is he's actually played by Sturgill Simpson,
Mm,
and he's like one of my favorite musicians. He's
mm,
I would call it like a renegade country because
mm,
like I don't really listen to country that you'll hear on the radio, but
mm,
like renegade country I'll listen to, and he's pretty good. But I think he's going more into acting like in this film. So yeah, I
mm,
just wanted to mention that.
mm. I didn't even know that. I just clicked on his Wikipedia page. It's deep. He's been doing albums. He's got a full discography.
Yeah, he's good.
All right, so yeah, Sturgill Simpson plays Drew. He held it down too. It wasn't like he was like had a standout role, but his role was important for moving the story forward. And one thing I got to say, like they just told Josh, okay, there's that girl, you got a knack on her to get us into finding Nimrata. And I'm like, how powerful was Josh's game? Like the whole government can count on one man to mac one woman so hard. Like, actually, what did you think about that? Because that's a crazy plan.
Well, I mean, you got to get like someone to on the inside, and who's better than like a guy that can connect with the girl who's the daughter of the head boss.
Yeah, yeah, but that's wild. The government was like, quick, find the soldier that has the most game in the entire platoon. We need to save America.
But I feel like that's how the West plays. Like they're so sneaky. Like the West is so sneaky, and they do like anything really.
Yo, Matt Villainy, what did you think about that? Because really, the only reason Josh got with Maya was because the government said, you're going to be like a honeypot. We need you to get this girl so we can find her father. What do you think of that?
Oh yeah, that's classic. I guess CIA move or intelligence move is to to get in deep with it. But
Deep.
yeah, yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah, yeah. So he got in deep for sure.
That's a wild move. I've never seen that in a movie. Only James Bond ish. Hey, speaking of James Bond, hey, could John David Washington play James Bond, or am I tripping?
I mean, he already did kind of intended.
Mm, mm. Yeah, maybe more like a John Wick. Like they need to create a series around him, like how Keanu got his. Like a
Yeah,
whole, yeah, or how his father got Equalizer. He could be
yeah,
like the
yeah.
divider, right?
Oh yeah, that'd be great. I do want to see that.
Yeah. But another thing about the scene when they came into the city, there in the city there are Josh keeps on seeing people that look like Maya, but that's because in the future the people donate their scans of their bodies, like they get their whole face and body scanned to have robots wear human faces, which is interesting, and I think that brings up so many questions, but also problems in the story. But I think one of the biggest things is that many of the robots are all wearing Maya's face, and I think deep down they all knew who Nimrata was, but it was a secret amongst the robots. That's why they were wearing her face. The humans didn't even ask that question, but I think that's what it was because they knew this is our, savior, this is our mother, so we're honoring her by taking her face. But why do you think, acting in the future, people wanted to give the robots faces in Asia?
Oh God, I don't know. Like that was the crazy part for me because like if I was in this era, I would definitely be with like the Asians and the AI, but I wouldn't donate my face
Mm,
because like maybe that's selfish or whatever, but I want to be the only one in the world that looks like me.
mm,
But I think yeah, like I think all the AI knew who Nirmata was, but they just didn't know. Maybe like some of them didn't know her creation, but they recognized it when they saw Alfie because they don't have kid
mm,
AIs,
yeah,
because they can't like procreate.
yeah.
So yeah, that was insane. Like I don't know, would you do that?
No, I don't think I would donate my face. I don't think I would do that at all. But well, maybe I would because then I could go to Freaknik, and then when people see the video, I could be like, "That ain't me. That's my AI."
You're not going to Freaknik, Simon. If your AI goes to Freaknik, you will be in charge. You will be punished, not your
but
AI.
but it wasn't me. It wasn't me. It was my AI.
I
That
don't
wasn't
care. I don't buy it.
But Matt Villainy, what do you think? Why did they let people put their faces on the AI?
I think just I think they wanted to advance and make them more realistic. I guess,
Mm,
um, and also just like I mean, I believe a lot of I guess a lot of people already have doppelgangers. So you got somebody that look like you,
mhm,
look pretty close to you in the world somewhere.
mhm. Yeah. Do you think maybe like in Asia they had this culture like we want to humanize AI because like all the robots that the Americans were using they were just the typical robots like you could tell they were, but a lot of the AI in Asia it was more human faces and stuff like that. Do you think maybe that was a part of it?
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Now, so moving on in the story, where were we at? Where were we?
Okay, so I think what happened? So they were in the big city and they take the bus, right, to go to some place. I don't know, where were they going?
Uh, so the place gets raided by the police. Josh, Alfie meet up with Drew at that factory, but the police come and they kill Drew's robot girlfriend. But Josh is able to get Alfie out and his homie, right? And so they're going to Diondang or something like that. Like they're trying to escape the city. And as they're escaping, Drew gets shot in the back by the Americans who found them where Alfie and them are and stuff like that. But the robots come and they're coming to save Alfie. And when they find them, the first robot at the beginning of the movie who called John brother is back. And he sees Josh and he says, brother. But then he has one of his homies, other AI, like hit him over the head. Then they throw Josh under the boat in the brig. Meanwhile, they're like trying to escape and go to a safe place, but the Americans are close on their tail. And the guy who, called him brother, Haroon, yeah, his name was Haroon. Yeah, Haroon.
Yep.
Haroon is like, I'm not going to let you, see Nimrata because you were a spy. You're going to trick her. Plus, the Americans are using you to find her. They're letting you come here and stuff like that. So Haroon is about to kill Josh, but the Americans come and he's able to escape. But he hangs onto the bottom of the boat. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that was right. And I just want to say, I know I have very weird taste, but Haroon was a zaddy.
Oh, stop.
Oh yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna jump in. Like, so that's Ken Watanabe. He's a veteran actor. He's actually in another show that I like. So Tokyo Vice,
Mm,
and it just had a second season. I think it
mhm,
ended or it's about to end. So if you
mhm,
want to check him out in another or in a series, that it's pretty good too.
mhm.
Check that out, Ken Watanabe.
Yeah, his face is very familiar for me. Like I just looked it up. He was in like The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise, so I remember him from that and other films like Godzilla films and stuff like that. But Tokyo Vice is here too that I see, and you said it's a great show, so we might check it out. We might review it.
Yeah, but I don't know more about that part of the movie.
Mm,
It was interesting. Like I guess like here at this point, Joshua was sort of developing feelings for Alfie, and
mhm,
Alfie. I don't know why, but maybe because Alfie was like modeled after their baby with
mhm,
Maya
mhm,
from the embryo. Maybe that's why like Alfie was trusting Joshua.
mhm,
Because like if we think about it, the first encounter that they had like in the village, Joshua killed an AI, right?
mhm,
So like
mhm,
there isn't really a reason for Alfie to trust Joshua, but then later that I guess Joshua was always trying to protect Alfie,
mhm,
not for the right reasons for a
mhm,
while.
mhm.
It was just to get through to Maya, but
Yeah.
yeah, it was cool. I don't know
Yeah.
what to say. Yeah.
No, no. This was the scene. The boat scene was when number one, Josh found out that Alfie was modeled after his baby, and then also Alfie developed feelings for Josh, really, because Alfie is the one who let Josh out of prison, and I think there was maybe subconsciously between both of them this father and daughter relationship because maybe they didn't know it. Well, at that point, Josh knew it, but the reason why he was taking care of her all that time was because, like, he saw something from him in her. And I think also the interesting thing about Nimrata making the weapon, which is Alfie, a child, is because a child is like the most innocent thing, right? And at the beginning, Josh was about to kill Alfie. He was about to shoot her. But then he looks at her and, he's not going to kill a child. You get what I'm saying? So I think the brilliance of Nimrata, of making the child that, is that, humans, if they have humanity, cannot bring themselves to do that sort of evil of killing a child point blank. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, that was definitely a smart move. And also, I guess this was also the part where Joshua learns that Maya is Nimrata, right? Because Drew, as he's dying, he tells him
Mm-hmm.
that, like, okay, we
Ah,
didn't tell you.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true. He does find out Nimrata is Maya. Her father was Nimrata, but it passed down to her because she's the smartest AI technician now.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess also maybe that's why he was starting to connect
Mm-hmm.
to Alfie as well. But definitely like that Alfie or the prophet being a child is really smart and really like sort of yeah, practical, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Did you see that coming, Madvillainy, when they revealed that Nimrata was Maya and that Alfie was sort of connected to Josh through blood? Like, did you see it coming? Because I feel like on one hand, I kind of saw it coming a little bit. It wasn't that big of a shock.
Uh, so no, I don't think I saw it coming, but like you said, it wasn't that big of a shock.
Mm,
I think like for me, I knew that there was something between Joshua and Alfie, but I wasn't really expecting Maya to end up like being Nimrata.
mm,
Because I did think like it was her father, but like probably she does stuff too. So that's
mhm.
how I was thinking. But yeah.
Right, right, right. I mean, when parts of the movie, I forgot exactly if it was revealed, before or after Josh found out Maya was Nimrata. But when she's like telling the story that she grew up with the AI, her father was the smartest AI technician ever. I was like, okay, I can kind of see that, she is Nimrata. But I forgot exactly if that was before or after that point when
Yeah,
Josh
like
found out.
they were like in the movie they were showing like flashbacks of
Hmm.
when Maya would talk to Joshua about AI and why she like loves AI
Hmm.
and protects AI and stuff like that because apparently like she grew up as an orphan and she was raised by AI and also she saw like she tells this memory of a kid an AI, like a kid being murdered, and because AI was its caretaker, AI shot itself off because a mother can not outlive her children. So she tells like stories like that, which was cool. I liked it.
Yeah. Once again, like every few scenes in this movie, they make you question humanity because like nobody would expect a robot to kill itself because they lost their child, right? But those are the sorts of stories that make you sympathize with AI in this movie, which is conflicting for me on one hand because you know what, I do think if AI like this did exist, we should prioritize human life above them. Like I don't care if the robot can even cry. Like humans, I think, are genuinely more valuable than AI because the AI could technically live forever, right? So
Yes,
we need to preserve human life. But what do
but
you think?
I think also AI prioritized human life in this movie because we see like that scene where an AI robot is being targeted, and to avoid being targeted, they need to like get inside something so they cannot be seen. And this AI is about to like enter a shack, but inside the shack there are kids and like other humans. So AI decides to just like sort of sacrifice himself and not go in there.
Right.
Like because of the possibility of all of them getting blown. So I think AI was programmed to actually protect human life, but also like have certain like protection of their own, I guess.
Right, right. But actually, what I'm asking you is like, if you were on a boat and a robot was drowning or a human is drowning, who do you say first?
Human.
Of course, right? And this is, I think, the priority that we should have if this technology does exist. But I think the interesting thing about this world is that I just said robots can't die, but technically humans can't die in this movie either, because every time a person dies, they just take a chip and put it into something else, right? So do humans actually die? I mean, now it becomes even trickier. I don't know.
And
I
I
don't know.
think it becomes trickier from person to person because like we've seen or we actually like read and discussed stories about people falling in love with AI and like spending their whole time with AI girlfriends and stuff like that. So like for those people, maybe they would value that AI over a human life. Like if they had an AI girlfriend and if she was drowning and an actual human was drowning, they would save the AI.
I will save you, sir, but I have to get my laptop. My AI girlfriend is about to be deleted.
Yeah, so like it's so complex.
I don't know. Madvillainy, you got any thoughts on this?
Oh yeah, so yeah, of course, we want to save the human before the AI, unless you know you're 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 really close to the AI, like a significant other. And I mean, you're probably going to save the AI before the human in that case. That's what I think.
Yeah, yeah. This movie makes you really love AI, but I think some of the other problems about it, aren't really talked about. But like you said, Matt Villainy at the beginning, we're the Terminators in this one. We're the Skynet. Not only are we hurting AI, we're hurting other people.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like that's what the West was thinking in this movie, Simon. They were
Yeah.
thinking we should put like human life above AI, and they ended up hurting other humans as well. So there should be a line to be drawn somewhere. I don't know where, but
Yeah, yeah. All right, going to one of the most important scenes of this movie. So Josh sneaks on the boat that's heading towards this village in the mountains. That's also like a Buddhist monk sanctuary as well, and it's new Asian soldiers and villagers living amongst AI. And the AI has like they're like priests and meditating and stuff like that, which is strange. And then these people putting up the resistance. Like these are the last few new Asian soldiers who are standing up against the West coming with Nomad hovering overhead the entire time in this movie. And so Josh is there trying to get Alfie. He turns off Haroon briefly, like on standby, and is trying to sneak out with Alfie from the village. But the Americans come, they find out they're there. They pull up in these huge tanks and just start rumbling the trees and firing missiles at the villagers and killing innocent civilians. And this was like one of the wildest scenes I've ever seen. And what I like about this movie is that when the missiles are fired or when the bombs drop, there's this you see the weapon coming, you see the destruction coming, and it makes it that tension is more real, and the explosions are so real too, and it shows like the horror of war. Like the good and bad thing about this movie is that they show war as not something glorious. Like humans romanticize war, but when you see tanks rolling into a village and rolling over citizens and just killing innocent civilians, it's just it's nasty work. You get what I'm saying?
yeah. And I think maybe like on top of that, it also highlights the new era of war because it's like you said, they see what's coming, but they can't do anything because it's so powerful, it's indestructible, and it's running towards them, but they can't do anything. Like, and I don't know if this is like a hole in this movie, but I was thinking like, okay, so Asia has all AI soldiers, and how can they not like? How are they, not able to win over with human soldiers? And I'm not talking about like that running bomb things. Like, of course, they were machines too, but I don't know. I was like, there's like gunfight between human soldiers and AI, and it's like, I'm like, okay, like this is kind of dumb, and maybe they did this because they wanted to show the humanness of AI. I don't know.
Yeah, Matt Villainy, what do you think about that? Like, technically, New Asia had more AI than the West, but still, they were getting like rolled over. What do you think?
Yeah, I think if I remember correctly, the AI they were programmed to be peaceful. Am I thinking about the right part?
Well, we're talking about like that battle scene, like when the Americans come to this village and they're trying to get Alfie, and they're coming in with the tanks and the suicide drones and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So yeah, they just had more artillery. They had more resources for more destruction. That's where the
Mhm.
West is. Their
Yeah, but
superiority.
but technically though, New Asia should have had the advantage because they're using AI more than the West. So after you said that's like a plot hole in the movie. Like, how come they're getting their asses whooped, but they got all the tech?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That is a plot hole.
I don't know. I think maybe it could be like they didn't say this in the movie, but also like the West is also like putting sanctions on New Asia, so they don't have the money. They might have all the resources, but they don't have the money. Just like how like a place like Africa or Latin America, they got all the resources, but they don't have the money to like stand up to America or Europe. Maybe that's why. That's my
Mm.
theory. What do you
Yeah,
think?
that makes sense.
Yeah, actually, what do you think?
Yeah, maybe that's why. I don't know. Or maybe like Madvillainy said also, like even in fighting situations, they didn't want to cause mass destruction
Mm-hmm.
because they were in the essence peaceful creations.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. And it seemed like, honestly, maybe this is a plot hole because, like, the new Asia forces, they were like rogues. They didn't have any uniforms. They didn't have nothing. They were like rebels. Meanwhile, the Americans are coming in with like uniforms and tanks and stuff like that. It seemed like New Asia's army was totally disorganized. So I think it's also like a situation, once again, maybe New Asia has already been defeated in the war, but there are like rebels who are still trying to hold on to AI and tech and stuff like that. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, they were gorillas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But, yeah, actually, what happens next in the story?
Yeah, so basically humans are like attacking this AI base. And in the base, like we have, Harun and like all the important soldiers of AI and stuff like that. And they're sending out like these running bombs that are indestructible. Like AI is shooting at the running bombs, but they can't do anything. And like, one of them explodes actually, runs into the base, which was once again, like it was a great scene. And then Alfie is like, I need to help them. They're coming for me. So he jumps off like the boat that Joshua is trying to like take her to, and then Joshua, for some reason, jumps into the sea instead of walking from the bridge. But I guess maybe later I thought maybe, okay, he was trying to take a shortcut, or like he was trying not to get shot or like identified. Because at that moment, also the AI forces were looking for Joshua as well. Like they saw him as the enemy, as the person who wanted to take Alfie and like wanted to go to Nirmata and stuff like that.
Mhm.
They didn't know what his aims were.
Mhm.
So maybe that was why he jumped into the water like that. But yeah, after that, basically they sent another one of those running bombs, and Alfie stops the bomb
Mhm.
and with his like magical powers, as Simon says.
Magic, I told you.
Yeah, with his magic, and yeah, so the bomb basically like kneels in front of Alfie. But then like this one American soldier like is like, okay, we lost the connection, and then he goes into the bridge where the bomb is and Alfie is, and he shoots Alfie. But then Joshua comes on and he's like, Alfie, no, and then he shoots his friend as well. And also that's when like the AI forces say to Joshua like, you're one of us now, or like, I guess he's protecting Alfie, like he killed his own friend, so
Mhm.
he's on our side.
Yeah,
And I guess that's when they decide that he can go up to Nirmata
yeah.
as well. But yeah, that scene was pretty cool. What did you think about that,
It
Simon?
was very cool, but this is how I know that Alfie's got magic because John David Washington's cornrows never got undone, never got frizzled, never looked nasty. The entire movie, how his cornrows stay so fresh. He didn't get a touch up once. He didn't get it redone once. This man was jumping in the water all the time. Like, how that happened? Matt Villain, you got something to say?
Yeah, yeah, I noticed that.
It's always funny in movies with black characters in their hair. Like black women be sleeping on pillows with no like silk bonnet. Black men dreads always got the like you can see their roots. You get what I'm saying? Like how that happened?
Yeah,
But yeah, man, the entire scene that village scene with the tanks and the bombs and the suicide drones, very cool, epic, top notch action we've seen this year. The rest of the story is that Josh gets taken to the village where Nomata is and finds out Maya has been in comatose. And the place that Alfie was telling them about, Dion Dang, that means heaven. So Alfie told him the entire time that that Maya is dead, but Josh didn't understand it. So he goes there and he cries because Maya is no longer there. And while holding Alfie, he turns off the plug on Maya. Actually, how did you feel when that scene happened?
Yeah, I think once again, like we're proven that also like AI is peaceful, or at least was created peacefully, because like Joshua has that conversation, and there's an AI monk there, and he says like, "It's been 5 years. Why didn't you kill her already?"
Mm.
I mean, he doesn't say it like that, but yeah.
That's pretty
Uh,
harsh.
and yeah, so the monk says we cannot kill Nirmata. Like she's our creator. We cannot harm her, so it's impossible for us to kill her
Yeah.
or like unplug her. But yeah, so then Joshua has like the sentimental moment, right? Which was cool. I like that like sentimental moment. I think I cried a little bit there because at the same time Alfie was crying too, and he was like, "Take my mom to the heavens," and yeah, like that was like a, oh, like the person that you love, you thought she might be alive, and then you thought she was dead again. and like now she's alive, but she's in a coma.
Mm.
So it was like very sad for me, and
Yeah.
yeah, it was like I think that's when like Joshua decided like he's gonna destroy Nomad.
Yeah. And he's also going to try to do whatever to protect Alfie because he knows now Alfie, loves Maya too, and also is like his daughter technically too. So he's doing whatever he takes. But Matt Villainy, what did you think of the scene when Maya got killed by Joshua?
Oh yeah, so yeah, I think he was trying to do the most humane thing is just let her go because she's not coming out of that coma or
Mm.
that coma. And uh, I like when the other the I guess the soldiers came in, and then I forgot how how that bomb got strapped to her I forget uh, her
I
rank.
don't know the character. Yeah, but the CIA lady.
Yeah, I think she might have been like a lieutenant colonel or a colonel,
Yeah.
and yeah, it
Now,
got. Mhm.
yeah. Haroon came in. Remember, Haroon came in and he shot the rocket
Oh
out of the
yeah,
bed.
that's right. Yeah, and it was one of those bombs, that magnetic bombs, and then
Mhm.
it just
And remember,
set to go off.
Alfie was going to save her because the bomb was about to go off. But then the soldiers said the weapon is detonated. Like they were pointing their guns at Alfie. But then the woman said no, 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 and then she blew up.
Yeah, yeah, that was good.
Yeah. It was definitely very sentimental. I was like, okay, John David can do a real like dramatic scene right here. I think I saw a little teardrop from him. I always wonder in these movies, do these actors actually cry? Is it CGI or do they put like water drops in their eyes? Anybody know?
I think it's water drops or onions. It's like cutting some onions.
From what I know, like if they cannot cry naturally, then there are like these drops that makes you cry. Like you drop them, and then after 1 minute, it tears you up, and
Mm,
they have like this natural material in
mm.
them that makes you cry, like onion juice or something, but something like that wouldn't harm your eyes.
Oh, that's wild. I couldn't imagine putting onion juice in my
It's
eye.
not onion juice. I just made that up, but you know what I mean.
Wow. Wow. Okay. But yeah. The whole idea about robots having religion and worshiping God, I find that so interesting. I haven't seen that in any other movie. Is there any other movie where robots worship God or become religious? Because we think AI would just be like cold, mechanical, and not care about that part of human life. But actually, what do you think? Like, what did you think about the fact that these robots were monks and worshipped God and stuff like that?
I mean, do you remember? I forgot the name of that series that we watched. There was The Mother.
Oh yeah.
I think a little bit there was sort of like a religion.
Mhm. Wolf,
But
something like that. It was an HBO show, Wolf or something.
yeah. But I
Oh,
think
Raised by Wolves.
Raised by Wolves.
yeah.
Yeah, that was a good show. I'm sad they didn't continue it after the
Yeah,
second
yeah.
season.
Yeah, there was like religious overtones in Raised by Wolves too, but I don't think the robots worshipped God in that, right?
They worshipped like the bigger AI or like the AI power.
Mm,
But also like here it's the same a little bit. Like they worship Nirmata,
hmm
right? And Nirmata is supposed to give them a prophet in a sense. But they never actually say like a prophet. I mean, they do say like someone is going to come.
mm,
But I feel like at least they know where their creator is coming from because yeah, she's their creator. She created them, so it would make sense that only they see her as God.
hmm
But our creators are not seen.
hmm
So therefore, AI religion makes more sense to me than human religion.
mm. Yeah, I think I don't think their religion makes any more sense. I think they it only makes sense is because like you could think okay their god is actually a human like we know who it was and so the robots are under some delusion that that's a god but it's just a person. I just think it's as equally naive if you really don't have faith to say oh the robots have a religion too.
I
That makes no
mean,
sense.
like as a human, I wouldn't worship their God because she didn't create me.
Hmm
But I would understand if they worshipped him because that's their creator. So,
Okay.
like, I don't know what's more to that.
Matt Villain, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, it is the AI can see their creator, or they know who it was. It's kind of like shoot, I'm trying to think of another AI movie, but I was thinking of Poor Things, where
Hmm
uh, the cadaver kind of worship Godwin.
hmm
So yeah.
Yeah. Um, Man, this was at this point in the movie now, like Alfie and Josh get separated by the soldiers because the soldiers find Josh and they say, "Oh, you did exactly what you're supposed to do. You got the weapon and you killed Narmada." So ironically, he completed his mission, and then they get separated. Basically, Josh ends up saving Alfie from the government. They go up into Nomad. They blow up the thing. There's like a whole typical action sequence where the countdown goes. This is where the movie got a little bit cliche. It was like we have 10 minutes until it's about to blow. It was cool to see them in outer space, but it was very like cliche and stuff like that. And then basically, Josh has to sacrifice himself before, saving Alfie. Alfie gets sent down to Earth. Josh is reunited with Maya briefly on the spaceship before it blows up. Movie ends, right? And so, yeah, the ending was kind of, cool. It was a bit stereotypical, cliche. Actually, what did you think? Or Matt Villainy, anybody?
I like the ending, and I really like the fact that Alfie like enters this room full of turned off AIs, and then she finds like Maya's AI version, and yeah, and then like in the end, Joshua somehow ends up in the the green fields of the spaceship, and they reunite. So I thought that was like a nice connection, like nice smart idea, because like in the beginning of the movie, he said something like, "I would do anything just for 1 minute with her," and essentially he got it. And it's probably going to be like less than 1 minute before they die, but still, they made it. Like at least he made it at the end. Like his heart's mission was complete as well, a little bit. But I liked it. I think it was cool. Like it was definitely very like a lot of tension was there because they kept on like fighting back and forth with the U.S. government. Like U.S. government was sending soldiers or like sending different AI machines to stop them, and it was like this tension of, are they going to make it? Are they not going to make it? Like, what is going to happen? And of course, it's an American movie. There's a happy ending. And ironically, it's a bad ending for Americans. But yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, ending definitely reminded me of like Star Wars. Like the Death Star blows up, the rebels are like cheering. The Empire has been defeated. Definitely Star Wars ish. Madvillainy, what do you think about the ending?
Yeah, I mean, it was a good ending. I don't know why, like at the very end when uh, Alfie gets back down to Earth, and she's like really happy. I guess because she saw like the liberation of the AI. I guess that was why she was smiling and happy.
Yeah, yeah. I don't. The smile, I think, was a bit off because she just saw her father die.
Right,
Like the
right.
last.
I think that's why I was so confused. It's like, dang, if both your what do you call it?
Your parents.
Yeah, if both of your parents died, and now you're crap. I don't know, my brain's freezing. But when both your parents die, you're what's the word? Uh,
Distraught, sad, depressed,
no, but there's a word for a person with no parents.
an orphan.
Orphan. Yes, that's what I'm looking for.
Hmm.
She's an orphan.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah,
And I don't know. Maybe I like she smiled because she knew like at least after that moment the world was going to be like peaceful.
yeah,
And yeah, like Madvillainy said, like she saw the liberation and she knows that Joshua died for a good cause. So
yeah.
yeah, like it's like after you have like a very bad, sad, long day and you go home and you start laughing at the most ridiculous thing.
Hmm.
Maybe it was like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's the opposite. I think she knew, okay, now I'm gonna be God Empress on Earth and slaughter everybody because the
Wow.
Americans have now been defeated. She knew, like, oh,
No,
they don't know my evil plans yet. They don't know what's about to happen.
she doesn't have evil plans. She's
Really?
programmed for peace, Simon.
That's what you think.
Oh my God. If you were in this movie, which side would you be on?
Definitely, of course, New Asia, right?
I don't
Because
know. From what you were saying, I feel like you might be like the people who change sides.
no, I mean, if the if the robot sex dolls get me in in Diandeng, then I might be persuaded. But no, I'm joking when I'm
Okay.
talking about Alfie. I'm joking. I don't think she's really gonna slaughter people or be a tyrant now. But she was smiling in a weird way, and the movie should have ended with her more like had like a confused look, a sad look, a worried look about the future. Wondering something like that. That might have been more realistic than just a smile.
I think like a smile without her teeth showing would be better. Like
Hmm.
a sad, broken smile.
Yeah, yeah. But like you said, it's that cherry on top American ending. With just some hope and happiness, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But this is a great action movie. It makes you ask some very deep questions. Like what is the meaning of life? Should we let AI exist? When will our sex robots come? Deep questions.
Stop it, Simon.
These
Stop it.
questions.
No
That's
sex
what I'm about
robots
to
coming.
hear already. It just needs to be more advanced.
Thanks, Matt Villainy. Thanks.
But no,
Hey,
like deep.
some people need them.
Some people need them.
Yeah, and Simon is not one of them.
No, I don't.
So
I don't need them. I don't need them. I don't need them. But yeah. Last question, I guess. Or what's one piece of technology that you think like would be cool to have in this, in our lives now from this movie? Like I saw those boats that were floating on the water. I thought that was cool. I want a floating boat on the water. That was fly.
honestly, I want Alfie because she controlled that passport machine.
Yeah.
And she like clicked on it and the passport machine said, go ahead, enjoy your travel. So
Yeah,
I would need like that sort of technology for me.
that was so cute when she said, "To be free." What's the purpose of your trip? To be free.
Yeah.
All right, man, Villainy. What's one piece of tech from this movie you think would be real or would be dope to have?
Shoot. I mean, yeah, that passport joint is good. Let's see what else. Um, a floating boat. I mean, maybe I don't know the sex robot. No,
I knew you were gonna say that. I knew it.
no, but yeah, it does have some pretty good technology on or what could be in the future, if not already. But yeah, I don't know.
Mm. See, I just proved my point. Y'all don't really want AI. Y'all over here talking about, oh, the AI are our friends, but none of y'all said you want an actual robot.
Yeah, because I don't like regular people. Why would I want an AI robot person next to me all the time?
Yeah. Facts.
Wow. Wow. But overall, I give this film, I would say, I think it's a good 8.5. 8.5, I would say. There was just a few scenes that were a bit, weird for me, like, Alfie meeting Drew, and Drew instantly knows what this robot can do. I thought that was a bit, rushing forward the plot. Yeah, other than that, just little stuff like that in the movie. Like the woman who shot Josh, she shot Josh and then like ran away. Like, like what was that? Like she just shot him and left, and that was it. She didn't try to help Alfie or save him or anything. That was a bit
Yeah.
strange too.
Yeah,
Uh,
I would give the same score. I think 8.5 is like the perfect score for this movie.
yeah.
And yeah, there were like some plot holes because I also was trying to like understand why AI was like eating and drinking. I was thinking like, do they have like a system in their bodies that digests food
Hmm.
or like that can take food or and drinks and like I don't know what is happening with the food in their body later. You
Yeah,
know, do they
exactly.
poop it out? Like it's so confusing. And because like we see like soldiers drinking tea.
Hmm.
And I'm like, okay, I feel like tea is dangerous for computer systems. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then
I,
like the general was sleeping, and
mhm,
when Joshua entered to take Alfie, he didn't wake up. And I'm like, aren't you supposed to have like some sensor in your body?
mhm.
So I don't know. Those little things kind of like, you know, got me, a bit disengaged at times. But I feel
Mhm.
like what makes this movie really good is that it's very realistic, very relatable, like overall great CGI and stuff like that, and great acting. So yeah.
That's a very good point because like Alfie was about to eat ice cream, and yeah, there were robots sleeping and smoking weed and stuff like that. Matt Villainy, what do you think about that? Is this movie a bit more fantasy than it is science fiction because they have technology that does things that wouldn't even make sense? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, I get what you're saying. I don't know. It must have went past me because I don't remember the AI eating or drinking. Like, but yeah, I mean, if they were, then that doesn't follow with what. Or maybe I don't know how they merge biotech together. Maybe I don't know.
Mm. Yeah, but you do remember the part like Alfie was about to eat ice cream. The girl was like, "What do you want?" And he was like, "I want robots to be free." And then she said, "We got butter pecan. Is that okay?"
Right, right. Yeah,
Like, why would Alfie eat ice cream?
right. So yeah, that's weird.
Wow.
And also, I just want to add, like, since New Asia is still like in poverty, why would we give food to AI when they don't need it? Instead, we can feed people who are actually
Yeah,
starving. So it was a bit weird.
Hmm. Hmm. I think the movie does a good job of like showing us this new world and universe, and they do, I would say, a great job of building, the basic structure of like making us understand this new world. But there were parts of it that needed explanation. Like, why does New Asia have a police force but no army? Right? Why does like every time the U.S. military comes, the police come in New Asia, but they don't send their tanks and their airplanes and stuff like that too. And also, like you said, why are they so poor when they have all this AI tech? So that's a very good point, actually. If you think about it more, the movie breaks down.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they added those parts because they wanted to look AI as human as possible. So,
Hmm.
like, they bond with other humans by doing those things, eating and drinking, because, yeah, like humans really like to bond over food.
Hmm.
So maybe that's why they were doing it. And it also became like one of their cultures because we see the same thing with religion here.
Hmm.
Being like having a religion is sort of like a human thing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I do think that this is one of the more realistic projections of AI on screen because I've always thought that AI would not just instantly become this murderous monster that wants to kill us or just one single thing. Like intelligence is different for different people. All three of us here have intelligence, but we all think differently, have different opinions and different beliefs. So I think if there was AI, it would be very similar to this. There would be some robots that are good, some that are bad, some that are lazy, some that sleep, some that worship God, some that don't. That's how I think like AI would be, and it was cool to see that on screen.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
yeah.
Uh, Matt Villain, what
Also,
you think? Go ahead.
oh, no, I had taken up like a page of notes, but Gemma Chan, or she was Maya or Numata,
Hmm.
she
Hmm.
was in another show with AI. She was actually a simulant. It was called Humans. I didn't watch all the show. I think I may have watched one episode, but now I want to go back and watch that. But yeah, she's in quite a few sci-fi shows or films.
Hmm. All right, that's cool. That's cool. And where is she from? Is she American? Is she British?
I want to say she's from I want to say she's from the UK, but
Hmm.
yeah, I'll check.
Oh, yeah. All right, that's it. What else is on the notes?
They had a good music selection, I think. So
Yeah.
when they first when Joshua and the other soldiers first got into that ship to go
Hmm.
over and they started playing Radiohead,
Hmm.
everything's in the right place. I think that was a good selection.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
and then when in that part where they're in that shack and they're trying to turn on that truck, and then
Hmm.
Alfie turned it on, and then Deep Purple started playing. I
Hmm.
think the song Child. I forget the name of the song. Child in Time. Child in Time. That was a good selection.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's what I got.
Yeah, I like the scene, like you said, when they played Radiohead go into that place because it was like very moody and dark, and it was cool to see
Yeah.
that juxtaposition to that scene with the army and the soothing song. And I also like the scene on the floating boat. They were playing like Asian '70s psych rock or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Acty, you remember that scene, Acty?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also really like all the Asian like tunes that they played because I don't know, sometimes I listen to like remixes on YouTube, and one time I listened to like this jazz funk Asian hits, and it's
Mm,
like these hits from like 90s and 80s in Asia, like all around Asia, and it kind of reminded me of those.
mm.
But yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, music was sick. Go ahead, Matt Villainy. What else?
Oh yeah. Let's see. Oh yeah. The robots, the ones that were just like bare bones robots. They look similar to another movie, Code 8 and
Mm.
Chappie.
Chappie,
Um,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Chappie, and then you remember Joshua? He got hit twice with a shockwave from one of the missiles, the bombs. Remember in the beginning when he
Hmm.
ran out to the beach, boom, shockwave, and then I forget the other time he got hit with another shockwave. I'm like, man, it's hitting this dude with shockwaves. Like, how is he still alive?
Yeah, yeah. He's got that action hero armor, plot armor.
Yeah,
You can't be killed. But I noticed in the second shockwave, Alfie was standing sort of very close to the shockwave too, but it didn't knock him down. He just looked at it.
right, yeah, huh?
Yeah. I think Alfie got psychopath tendencies, man. He saw a man die and didn't even cry. He looks at bombs dropping on villages and just smiles.
No, she looked at it. She got
Yeah,
psychopathic tendencies.
yeah, yeah. She. My bad. I forgot the pronoun. But yeah. What you think, acting?
Uh, of Alfie being psychopathic.
Yeah.
No, I don't think Alfie is psychopathic. Come on, guys, that's a human like disease.
Oh, but she means ice cream.
Well, yeah, that's a controversy within itself. But I also want to say, like, maybe this is in Matt Villani's notes as well. But I was just looking at the Wikipedia page a little bit, and apparently for the trailer, they use a real explosion footage from 2020 Beirut explosion, and this explosion was like caused by some like chemicals,
Hmm.
and the whole like city exploded, and it caused like 218 deaths
Hmm.
and like 7,000 injuries and stuff like that. So, and they were criticized because of that.
Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
I didn't
know.
know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
That's
kind of
wild.
crazy. Like, who decided to do that? Like, oh, okay, let me use like this footage of real war, not war, but yeah,
Yeah, that's really bad. That's really bad. But the crazy thing is the explosions they have in this movie, which I'm sure are CGI, are better than any of the cell phone footage they got from that.
yeah. I thought they were really good. Like how they showed, and they were like very silent.
Hmm.
And sometimes, I mean, sometimes we could hear them, but how they showed it like from far and how big it was,
Hmm.
and all the smokes and the clouds and stuff, it was like crazy. And also, like every time a bomb exploded, there was this like wave of air,
Yeah.
like spreading in a very long, like wide land.
Yeah. The shockwave.
Yeah, the shockwave. It was really cool. And I think at one point in the movie, I said like this movie has better like explosions than Oppenheimer.
Yep. Yep. Facts. I would not
Yeah.
disagree with that.
Yeah, I didn't see Oppenheimer yet. Didn't really have an interest in seeing it,
I would.
but
I would say you're not missing out on much.
okay, good. But
Yeah.
yeah, I want to mention Gareth Edwards, the director of this movie. He also did Star Wars Rogue One, and so that
Mm.
that is that to me that's the best Star Wars that they made after the original trilogy. That one's good. The rest of them.
And
Mhm.
the guy who played Haroon is in Rogue One too. I remember, right?
I,
I think. I think
I
so.
don't
No.
know. I'll have to check on that because I know what's his name? He was in John Wick 4. He's in it.
Hmm.
Um, uh, the guy that played Ip Man. But
Ip
yeah,
Man. Yeah, I remember that action movie.
but I don't know if Arun or if Ken Watanabe's in it.
Yeah, I feel like he was, but there was. I remember an Asian character in Rogue One, and I feel like it was him because they had like the samurai in Rogue One.
No, that
And
was that was that was the other guy, the guy that was in John Wick 4, I think.
hmm let's see. Let's see. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Rogue One is dope. I like Rogue One. I'm one of the minority that likes the Last Jedi. Honestly, I like the Last Jedi.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I'm in
Did,
the
did we
minority.
watch Rogue One, Simon?
No, we didn't. We've
Okay.
only seen the original trilogy, and then I didn't
Because
want to embarrass myself.
wow, I thought like the first ones. I don't know. I think we watched the first three.
Hmm.
But I thought like the special effects were good for that
Yeah,
time, and like it still holds up to this day. So that's cool.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, Donnie Yen was in Rogue One. He was a samurai. So I don't think it was Ken Watanabe. But yeah.
Okay, okay.
Oh, you
All
know
right.
what? Gemma Chan was in that too. She was in Rogue One.
Oh,
I'm,
really?
yeah, I'm looking at the cast. I don't remember what part she was in, but she was in it. So she or Gareth Edwards must use her a lot as one of his main actresses or actors. Oh, you know what? Ken, I see it now. He was in Rogue One. Ken Watanabe. He was in it too.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, so
Okay.
you know how directors have favorite actors they like to use. So that's
Hmm.
that's probably what this is like. Christopher Nolan. He's got directors have the actors that they like to use. So that's good.
Yeah, yeah. Speaking of Christopher Nolan, like John David Washington did Tenet with Nolan, right?
Right. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, but I didn't feel like they had good chemistry because Tenet had its problems. It wasn't that excellent of a movie. But I think if John David Washington got with somebody who could, direct him in a certain way and make him look a certain way, he's out of here. He could be bigger than his dad, honestly.
Oh yeah, definitely for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's got to find that that match.
yeah. But yeah, I think we've covered everything with this movie.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
one more thing. If anybody really wants to go to the place, they shot a lot of this movie in Ban Mung, Thailand. Ban Mung, Thailand. It was a really beautiful scenery, though. That scene
Yeah,
was
Yeah.
all the
and
mountains and beaches.
Pattaya as well. Pattaya, Thailand.
Mm, yeah, Thailand's a beautiful country. They made it look really nice.
Yep.
But yeah, this has been a pleasure chatting it up with you, Mad Villainy. Thank you for coming through.
Yeah, I loved it. Again, thank you
Yeah,
for having me.
no problem. What's your final score for this movie? Acting I gave it an 8.5.
I mean, I think my score would align with that. About 8.5.
Yeah, yeah. I think we could like. There's some flaws in it, some weird stuff. There's some cliche action movie stuff in it, but overall, it does have great sci-fi, great action, great scenes, everything.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. Well, go ahead.
Mhm. Oh no, I was just gonna say um, another good AI film is shoot, I forgot the name of it, but I'll put it in the y'all probably saw it already, but I'll put it
Hmm.
in the notes in the chat.
Okay. Okay.
I think I
Yeah.
already
Just
put it in. I think I already put it somewhere, so you might have it somewhere, but I'll put it
okay.
in the chat.
All
But
right.
yeah,
Put
this
it
is great.
in. This was great. Join us for the next one too. And thank you, Acty, for coming through as well. We always
Thank
appreciate
you. It was really nice talking to both of you.
it.
Thanks.
All right, all right. Well, we'll catch y'all next time. Thank you for being here. My name is Simon Hill. This is episode 32 of Simon and Acting Movie Reviews. Our first special guest, Matt Villainy. And stay tuned for the next one. We got several movies on the list. Look in my look in my feed on Twitter to see what's coming up next. And peace.